This is John Zaninovich. Welcome to Move My Mass. You'll be hearing from great guests talk about balancing life and being fit. Hey, John. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
I knew, I think we could have had a whole previous podcast just from our chatting before we came on here.
Yeah.
Know you through ag. You're fourth generation production ag.
Mm-hmm.
You're president of the Kern County Farm Bureau.
Yeah.
Young family. I think today might have been the first time I ever met you. I'm sure we've probably met, but not quite sure.
Maybe a quick handshake, something like that.
Right. But, following you on Instagram and looking for guests for the show, I'm like, man, here's a crazy fit guy that's working his ass off. I think I got to reach out and try to get him on.
Yeah.
So you're doing it all. I can't imagine the time that the Bureau takes. But by itself, you're a farmer.
Yeah.
You're in ag real estate.
A farmer, yeah.
Yeah, ag real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Young family.
Mm-hmm.
And fit. And so, you fit the perfect profile for being on Move My Mass because you've obviously figured out how to balance it all out.
Yeah, I don't know if I've really figured. I try to figure it out. So I've kind of have a certain system that we try to do. But like a lot of your guests that you have, they're all young professionals or professionals that mix it in when we can. Because I think if we're going to stay sane, we've got to have some sort of physical. You've got to be physical in some way. So
totally,
yes. Kind of what I try to do, and before because I think if you looked at my current resume, you'd think this guy doesn't have time to do anything else. But I do farm with my dad. So I farm with my family in Arvin. And before doing the Farm Bureau thing, met with him and talked with him about the commitment that it was going to be and said, hey, look, I'm going to be doing this for 6 years. Really, the presidency is only 2 years, but it's a 6-year commitment, second, first, and president. And if I didn't have his support and the fact that he's still doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff with me on the ranch, I don't think I could have done it. So the answer to the question, I think, is support, right? That's
key.
How you do it.
That's key to all of it. Family and especially spousal support.
Exactly.
Having them, they have your back.
Yeah.
That makes it.
Yeah. So we've got and you mentioned it, we've got a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old. So between the time that I got on the Farm Bureau, the leadership position, I got married and had 2 kids, started doing ag real estate, and then, lost a lot of hair in the process. And, it definitely takes a supportive spouse. My wife works at Memorial Hospital, so she works as well. And, it's what we try to do as far as the fitness side is she does hot yoga at Evolve Core. And, so we just schedule it in our day. So she'll do the mornings sometimes, and in the mornings I'll take over. Baby wakes up, I got him or got her, and Jake wakes up and I help him. Give him his cereal. Yeah. He's at that age now, and sometimes I'll do the mornings and she'll do the afternoon. And it's just it's kind of coordinating that Saturday or Sunday before. Like, okay, this is going to be the week, and this is when you're going to be able to get your exercise. This is when I'm going to get mine.
Right.
And as long as we're on the same page, you can make it work.
Now, how detailed? Being on the same page is one thing, but how detailed do you guys get into it? Do you guys have a calendar? Like, hey, let's sit down and schedule this out? Or
Jenna has a calendar, yes.
Yeah, so she's the tracker.
Yes.
She's the one that gets it down.
She has a calendar, but I couldn't tell you what's on it right now. So I know we have a calendar, and it's in our island in our kitchen. We keep track of that stuff. I don't think we write it down. We just kind of communicate over text. Hey, I'm going to do this day. We try to remind each other like the day before. Right. So it's kind of the balance between chaos and being conscientious. And that's what we try to float in between.
Managed chaos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, you've got kids. It's kind of...
I'm lucky mine are older, but I remember those days vividly.
It's a constant state of things.
Yeah.
So, support. So support from the spouse, support from Jenna, support from my dad on the farming side. On the real estate side, that's all on me. I've got to work with a broker owner at Tech Ag, and but that one is, it's with the Farm Bureau commitment. Is you're the chair of the. I'm sorry if I'm.
I was the chair of the Table Grape Commission years ago.
It's an advocacy role, and you're getting the calls and the emails. Hey, John, we need you to go on TV at this time. So you could be in the middle of something and you've got to drop it. And thankfully for Zoom, this is a lot easier now. So
that's true.
It happens fast.
Yeah, you're getting to do some stuff from home or the office.
Yeah, you're not having to go to KGT studios or do anything like that. But it's just trying to work in the actual profitable enterprise between those volunteer hours. It becomes challenging, but you figure it out. You figure it out after the first 6 months, my hair was completely on fire, but kind of caught up. Yeah.
But I've been a little bit modest. You're incredibly fit. I have Facebook, I have Instagram stalked. I'm like, hey, got to see what this guy does, And saw you're at the beach. I'm like, okay, he's way more fit than I realized. So what's your routine? It's one thing to just stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
You're working out some workouts in your day, but your level, what are you doing? How are you pulling it off?
Well, thank you. And what I try to do is I mix it between, like a lot of your guests. I do CrossFit and then I mix it up with hot yoga. So I think the second I turned 30, like everything just started squeaking and creaking and you kind of start slowing down a little bit. So I used to do CrossFit like 5-6 days a week. Wow. Pretty hard.
Yeah.
And that was great. And then, you get the shoulder injury there maybe, or you just start pushing it when you're tired and you're stressed. And those combinations of things just lead to injury. So between that, supplemented it with doing hot yoga, which I really enjoy. I mean, I go to CrossFit. It's fun. It's intense. There's a competitive factor to it, which makes it really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then the hot yoga thing is just, you're still getting some sort of, you're sweating it out. And, but it's just, it makes your body feel great. So it's like the same feeling for me after you get swimming laps. Like,
I have never, I've never done hot yoga.
Oh,
never done it.
It's awesome.
I've hardly done yoga, but definitely never done hot yoga.
It can be intense, but it's great. I mean, I see you swim, so it's the same feeling. You're stretched out, you're rejuvenated, you're ready to eat.
Right. Okay, I can see that. Yeah. And how often are you doing that?
I do that usually only like twice a week, so not very often.
And you mentioned so you're mixing it up. Sometimes you're doing it in the morning. Sometimes you're hitting CrossFit in the afternoon or yoga.
Yeah, so I don't do twice a day. I do like Monday, Wednesday. I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday CrossFit, and then Tuesday, Thursday I'll do hot yoga.
Got it.
And then I'll try to go hack it up on the golf course in between there, and try to do little trips. I like to. I noticed, and I really appreciated the CrossFit stuff after doing, because I like to snowboard, and I like to. I mean, fishing is not exactly, fly fishing is not, a very arduous activity.
Rigorous.
Rigorous activity. But snowboarding can be, and when your legs are stronger, you feel better. That's when that exercise pays off. So, I mean, that's kind of how I try to mix it up. Obviously, this summer, you got vacations in July, so you kind of start slacking off a little bit. But I think for me, as much as anything, staying, looking physically fit is the diet component too.
It's funny. I was just about to, did you do the paleo thing?
No, I just,
because CrossFit, it always seemed, when I had done CrossFit years ago, and it seemed to, not pushing it, that's not the right word, but it seemed to be the end. Maybe it's just because it was the end thing at the time.
Yeah.
And I tried it for a while and it actually freaking worked.
Yeah.
But it was something that didn't stay on.
Sure.
Just multiple reasons. But yeah, so what's your nutrition program? Or philosophy, I should say.
Well, I mean, I just I try to eat whole foods, I guess. And this is terrible, but it's true. I've got one of my buddies, Tommy Haupt, is if he listens to these, he's going to die. But he and I were commiserating over high cholesterol. So that changes your diet a little bit. Apparently, it look okay, but I think I have like ketchup flowing through my veins or something.
Mine's real high also.
Yeah, butter cube, I suppose.
Right.
And so that, I mean, changing your diet, moving away from a lot of dairy and red meat, because what I like to do too, I like to cook. So I like to cook a lot of red meat. I mean, I've got my Santa Maria style and green egg and my little barbecue in the backyard.
Right.
That's kind of where I go. And and do my thing. And
Yeah.
eating a steak every day is maybe not the best thing to do, or whole milk. So cutting back on some like the heavy fats like that is helpful. Cutting back on some red meat, doing more of like the plant-based thing, which, if we're both ag guys, I think
Mhm.
any plant-based or plant-based proteins that's kind of the future. And having to make that change, having to do it medically and just kind of being forced into it, I can see a change. I
Right.
was always in decent shape, but after changing the diet is really when I started like, okay, there's something
Physically
there.
happening.
Yeah.
What was the
physically.
big? I know you mentioned, red meat and milk, dairy.
Yeah.
But what if you had to say one of them? What was the biggie?
Probably dairy. I mean, I used to eat a lot of cheese.
I love it.
Yeah.
I know. How do you not? Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, my got an Italian mom and come home and you've just got, just like 5 to 10 different cheeses in the drawer. So you're crushing that. And,
Yep.
and then
It's so damn satisfying.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And then,
Right.
and then drinking beers, you finish work, maybe have a couple beers, something like that.
Yeah.
That has an effect. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's just part of, for me, it was just kind of getting older. It's like, okay, if I cut this stuff out, maybe it'll help. And it did. And you can see it in your workouts, I've noticed. And it's not necessarily during the workout, it's after. So it's like the recovery component. You just feel a little
Just
bit
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You read about it, you can watch it and hear about it from friends. It's just 100% true.
Oh yeah.
Nutrition is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because even during my hardest workout days, if I'm not eating clean during the whole time, because sometimes I justify it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm burning so many calories today. I mean, but when I say that, I'm talking about during crazy workouts where I'm probably burning 1,800 calories in my mind. It's not that I go polish off a pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, I can go eat anything I want, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I do.
Oh yeah.
And then, but you can still see the difference versus just, hey, you can replace those calories, but replace them cleanly.
Yep.
And the physical difference is magnified when you do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're fighting the urge after a heavy workout to, maybe have a couple beers or eat poorly is really hard, but it helps. It helps. I still think you've got to have balance though. You've got to,
totally.
You've got to have your Friday where you're maybe, you got to imbibe a little bit and I'll try to have like 1 or 2 days over the weekend where I'm letting it go a little bit, that sounds supremely dorky, but let your hair down a little bit and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. My philosophy has been over time, like, I've gone through all of it. I've gone through where I eat soup like crazy clean. And this has been a while since I've done this because I'm not that strict on myself anymore.
Sure.
But when I used to be, I'm like, okay, and then I have a cheat day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that because my cheat days now are social events.
Yeah.
I just don't plan cheat days.
Mm-hmm.
I try to eat pretty damn good most of the time. I'm got a super social life.
Yeah.
I got plenty of opportunity to go have that meal that's not great for me.
Yeah.
Mine is about portion control now.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to be that guy. Can I have chicken and broccoli? At a nice restaurant.
Sure.
No, I'm going to order what I want off the menu.
Yeah.
John, you don't have to finish the whole plate. I'm saying me. I'm talking, third person. Yeah, I don't, because that's me. I can finish a plate.
Sure.
Yeah. But just portion control it.
Uh-huh.
Enjoy your foods, but, now I'm saying that when I just want to be normal. Like there are times when I say, okay, now it's time to get on it.
Yep.
Now it's time to kick it up a notch. I want to perform at a certain level of something. Okay, now I'm going to be a little goofy on the strictness.
Yep.
So
like before you go and do an event, if you're doing like a triathlon or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. There's going to be a certain amount of time before that where I'm going to clean stuff up.
Yep.
Just to help things out.
Yeah.
But yeah. I've done the whole, I'm not going to have a drink at a social. Really? No.
Well, and you're in sales, it's
right.
You've got to, you've got to be yourself. And when you're doing that, you're not, I don't know, you're not being yourself. And especially our culture here, Croatian guy. You come from a European family where you like to eat and drink, and that's the big part of the culture.
Totally.
Now, I'm sure
you've
growing
been to
up
the
it was
slap
like,
hall, right?
yeah, you better finish your lunch, finish all
Right.
your food.
Yes.
That's how we grew up. It's like, you're not going back for seconds or thirds. What's wrong with you?
We started talking about what was right after breakfast, what we're going to have for dinner.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Yeah.
you should see the steaks I bought. Can't wait to barbecue them tonight, or what,
Yeah.
We talk about the ingredients we're going to put in whatever meal we're going to make after
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah. Sure.
That's just the culture,
Yeah.
which is totally fine. And continue to enjoy them. Just
I'll tell you what
watch
amazed me. I went to one of your guests. I went to Croatia with Oliver Sill, and we went and we stayed in Var with the family. So we went to Zagreb first, and then we went to Split, and then took the boat to Var. And everyone except for his aunt's boyfriend or husband was like chiseled, in great shape, and ate and drank so much. Like, how is this happening? How are you guys doing this? And I don't know. I still can't figure it out. But maybe they were just showing the Americans how to do it. But
I think that's part of it over there.
Yeah.
It's like when family comes to visit, the food gets put on.
yeah,
It's a food show,
yeah,
which is great.
Yeah.
It's a good time. What's a typical day for you? Young kids obviously are up early, but yeah, what's a typical day so listeners know that somebody crazy busy like you're getting it done?
yeah. So it's early mornings. And then depending on who's going to work out, it's either me going up, and I'm up at
And early is different for other people. What's early for you?
about 4:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's crazy early.
Yeah, so about 4:30, and then I'm working out at 5.
Mhm.
Finish at 6. Get back home 6:15. Help. Usually 6-month-old is getting up, and Jake's starting to wander out of his room, so cereal gets poured, and mom feeds baby. Get coffee going. Try to get out of the door to the ranch. First thing I do is I head to Arvin and
Mhm.
check on our ranch, and during that time, try to make phone calls. One of the reasons I got into real estate is I've accumulated this knowledge from production ag and farm bureau, so kind of have the policy side and then the farming side. But I had all this time driving,
Right.
from home to the ranch, driving the ranch. And so if I have phone calls, I'll make my phone calls as I'm driving and get to the ranch, check. I try to go and do any office work that I have by 11 or 12. My real estate office is located off of by the airport. And so I drive from Arvin I basically drive by my house on 178 in Fairfax and stop and grab a quick bite. And then I get to the real estate office, and that's where I spend my evening until the evening. And then I go home. That's it. And then I have family time.
And that's a big day.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things and I know exactly what you're talking about is all the drive time.
Yeah.
I am not good at being efficient during my drive time.
Yeah.
I have my times.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll just, start listening to podcasts.
Yep.
So then I just get in deep.
Yep.
Or I'm like hot or cold.
Yeah.
I'm either one call to the next,
Mhm.
for the whole time, or it's off.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
need to definitely build my efficiency
Well-
in the car because I'm driving all day
Yeah.
during this time of year.
Sure. I think that at one point I was writing this, I was kind of cataloging because when I was starting the Farm Bureau, like, okay, and I've got my normal schedule, and then Farm Bureau is going to just be the dot in between there. So I'm going to be answering emails, I'm going to be putting fires out, and that's fine. So I started cataloging, okay, where am I least efficient with my time? So writing
Mhm.
down every day, what did I do? What phone calls did I make with these times? And the portions where I would say, okay, I'm listening to a podcast for this amount of time during the day, I'm going to cut that out. So I
Mhm.
cut it out, and I would start going crazy because you have to have some sort of outlet. I think
Yeah,
you've got to,
right.
your mind you can't just be going boom, 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 hot the entire day, 110 miles an hour, or else you're going to burn out. So I tried getting efficient, cutting out the podcasting time, but you know what? I got to fill it in somehow. So I still listen to them. I mean,
Mhm.
I probably listen to a podcast, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes, an hour a day, something like that.
Right.
Just driving around and you
Yeah.
kind of listen and you're thinking at the same time. But, I think it's almost necessary.
Yeah.
But then when I get home, and this was hard at first, I mean, it did not happen right away, but set the phone to the side and like, I'm not going to pick up my phone. If you want to get a hold of me, I'll respond to you in the morning. I'm not going to get back to you, or I'm going to get back to you when everybody's asleep, and maybe I'll stay up a little bit later tonight doing work.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to, for your family, block off that amount of time, or else it's, I mean, and I had problems with this. It was like, I'm going to come home and then I'm going to still be answering phone calls. I'm going to be checking emails, glued to my phone. Wife's going to be talking to me. I'm just going to be doing this.
Right.
And it's, you have to compartmentalize. And if you don't compartmentalize, then you'll just get lost.
Totally. Yeah. I think we have become a people that thinks we're efficient at multitasking.
Yeah.
We're not.
No.
We trick ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a couple things, but I really don't think we can even do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm super bad about it. I'm totally addicted to my phone. Can't stand. I'll just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I'm getting better about putting it down.
Yeah.
Way better. And it's amazing when you do put it down how clear things start becoming. Less jumbled.
Oh yeah.
It is a huge fix.
Yeah.
But I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. And one of the things that I'm like, I got to have this guy on is because I'm doing a Tough Mudder this Sunday.
Yeah.
A buddy, and I think you know him, Scott Daniel, Young's Commercial Transfer.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So he and I are doing it. He's been on the podcast a couple times.
Okay. Nice.
And he was telling me, he's like, we have to do it because we haven't done events in a few years. One, got lazy.
Yeah.
2, COVID hit. There were no events to do. And so he's like, we got to do something. And he's like, he called me when he goes, I signed you up for Tough Mudder. Neither one of us is trained for it.
Yeah.
We're
good.
Of course, we're not doing it off the couch. We
Sure.
work out, but it's a 10-mile course.
Oh yeah.
25 obstacles. But what cracked me up is when I don't know if I posted something about the the electroshock during the course, and you messaged, hey man, I've done a Tough Mudder. When that thing hit me, I face planted in the hay bales.
I've heard you talk about this on this podcast. So you've had a few different people on who've done Tough Mudders, and everybody talks about their, the electroshock therapy, basically, that they get at the Tough Mudder. And so I'm no different. But mine, I don't know if I'm just weak when it comes to electricity or what, but we were all waiting. So we're all waiting, and you've got the wires hanging down, and then there's hay bales in between. So not only are you running through these hot wires, live wires, you've got hay bales to jump over, which is fine. I mean, we're moderately athletic when we're doing this. I did it when I was in college, so similar. Off the couch was like going to the gym doing bench press, and that was it.
Yeah, totally.
And so they, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And we're having a great time running. And I took one to the neck and just froze up and swan dived directly into a hay bale. And we have pictures of it. So I'm sure it's on a video. I'm sure I'm one of those stupid people that's on YouTube. Like, oh, look at this guy crashing. But yeah, I mean, it knocked me out. I hit a hay bale, and you just see this look on my face when I'm totally disheveled. That was a bad one, but I was thinking about it after we were communicating on Instagram. The worst part about my Tough Mudder is there's an obstacle that it's like a, it goes up maybe 45 degrees, down 45 degrees is a jungle gym. So there are bars, right? So there's a gal in front of me who goes, and I wait till she gets to the top, and she's moving through. That's fine. And so I decide I'm going to go. I've given her enough room. So I start moving, and going up is the tough part. But then when you start going down, you can really swing and start going fast. And so I've got my head up, looking at the bars. And right at the end, I collide with this body. And so I hit this girl, and she was like 2 bars away. And she goes flying into the cold water below us. This is in North Dallas, so it's cold, it's ugly.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to the end and looking at her, and she just looks at me with this horrified, like puppy dog look, and I still feel bad about it. So that was my crowning achievement at the Tough Mudder, aside from getting shot.
That sets you apart from everybody.
If she's listening, I apologize for hitting you, girl from North Dallas.
So what tips do you have for me?
Who are you going with? Just the two of you guys?
Of us, yes.
So I went with there was 2 of my college buddies and then 2 of our girlfriends. And so that was kind of interesting because we had all three of us were fairly athletic. So
Mhm.
you guys will be fine. You'll rip through the obstacles. I mean, it's the thing that I don't know if I have any advice, but what I would encourage you to do, if like there's a big ramp
Okay.
for one of the obstacles, at least there was for us. And so you run up the ramp, and then you
You grab the top and you
just
get up.
grab on and you run and jump, grab that thing, pull yourself up, but turn around and help people up.
That's what they say.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while. We just sat there helping people up. And,
They say that's a big part of the race. It's like not
Helping
even a
each other.
timed event. I mean, of course, they probably time it,
yeah,
but that's not what it's about. It's about helping.
yeah.
They really encourage that. Like, hey, at each shop, help your
Yeah.
neighbor, help your other people.
It was fun. That
Right.
I mean, you kind of chalk it up to the things you really remember. I remember doing that and trying to help people get up. But for us, it was strategy because we're trying to help these girls get over obstacles. So
Yeah.
whoever's the tallest go last. So I assume you'll probably be the tallest, and so move Scott up first on some of these obstacles, and then
Right.
and then you move after that.
Well, that's what I told them. I said, I hope you're lifting heavy because you're going to
Yeah.
be pulling me over these
Yeah.
obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys will be okay. I mean, it's if it's just the two of you, you'll move through.
Is there a lot of hurry up and wait? Like, do you get to the next obstacle and wait quite a bit, or is it moving pretty good?
Not if you run fast. Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be happening.
Yeah.
That's out.
Yeah. I mean, no, we didn't wait too long. I'm trying to remember. I've heard that it can be. I think it just depends on what time you go. So do you know what
Okay, I
time?
gotcha.
Yeah. Are you
I
leaving?
think we're
early,
starting
late?
off at 9.
Yeah.
think it's our start
You'll
time.
probably be fine.
Right.
And you guys, I mean, you're still going to be one of the top, better shape for the folks that competed in, I think. So,
Okay.
yeah, you won't, I wouldn't imagine you would be.
Yeah. I went and bought some trail running shoes for this
Did
just to
you?
have some, because I'm not going to wreck my
Yeah.
good running shoes.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Duct
think
tape
they
them to
get
your
destroyed.
feet. Yeah.
They're the ugliest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? They're going to be black within 10
exactly.
minutes.
You're not going to
Yeah.
notice. Yeah.
Right.
Recognize what they look like when you're done. It's fun, and then you can celebrate afterwards. And,
Oh, totally.
so it's a good time. 10 miles, even though you are waiting for some of those obstacles, by the time you get done with it, you're toast.
You're smoked. Oh, I can only
Yeah.
imagine. I haven't ran 10 miles in a long time.
Yeah. Well, they break it up.
You know.
I mean, it's not like you're running straight 10 miles either. So I think they'll probably have a component or a section where you do like a mile and a half straight. Other than that, you're going to have obstacles split it out.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I
Yeah.
have not done any event in a number of years.
Well, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear about your shock treatment.
Yeah. I've mentioned this on multiple episodes, but I can go down that rabbit hole and watch those. And I'm in tears, tears watching these poor people,
Let me know if you find mine. Yeah.
But you have any events coming up or anything?
No events. Just trying to stay in shape. I'm finishing with my Farm Bureau, tenure in September. So right around the corner. And I'm just going to go on vacation for a week with my
Nice.
family and one of my friends from Texas, and then fishing trips. Just doing little
Excellent.
fishing trips.
Fly
So,
fishing.
yeah.
Fishing is your thing.
Yeah, I like it.
So before we get off, I've got one fly fishing story. I've only been once.
Yeah.
And the instructor, this has nothing to do with fitness, but I cracked myself up on it, cracked the instructor, our guide, and the other guy in the boat. So we're fishing, and I get snagged on something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, drop the pole. And pretty positive that's how he phrased it. Because if he didn't say drop the tip, because I would have known what to do. But maybe he
drop
did.
the rod.
Yeah, drop the rod.
Yeah.
Drop the rod.
Uh-huh.
And he kept saying it. And he keeps saying it. And I'm snagged. And he starts yelling, drop the rod. I physically dropped the rod. I mean, I physically dropped it in the boat. I think he was going to fall in the water laughing so hard.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good guide then. Because some of them, would have pushed you overboard. So
he was not happy. I mean, but that broke the tension right there.
Oh,
the fact, oh my gosh, even, and of course he meant to drop the tip,
Sure.
drop the tip.
Yeah.
And I even knew that because he gave great instruction before we got on the boat. I mean, those two guys, my friend and the guy, they laughed, and I deserve it. That's going to be a forever joke in our group,
Where'd you guys go fishing?
We went on the Madison.
Okay,
in Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
So
time.
it was
big water out there.
it was a beautiful trip.
Yeah. Did you guys
It
catch
was
some
not
fish?
no.
Yeah.
It was not probably because what one of our guys did. He caught 6 or 7, I think, throughout the day. I think I caught 2. Obviously, it was,
Yeah. Fly fishing is fickle.
We had a blast. We did it. We have, we get together and go on trips now and then, and
Nice.
we always pick something different to do. But that was just a crack up.
I mean, I think there's a fitness component to fly fishing. You have to have some sense of coordination.
Totally. Got to have some sense to not fall in the water. Not fall out of the boat.
Drop your tip, not drop the entire rod.
But it was a good time. But yeah, I mean, he laughed so hard. He couldn't be mad at me anymore,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a fun sport. And it's taken off in popularity too during COVID. It's gotten crazy.
Yeah,
those
like
waters
everything
are
has,
really
right?
impacted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. But.
So back to fitness. What's your workout? So tomorrow's Friday.
Yes.
So you're going to be on.
So tomorrow
CrossFit.
I'm going to be on CrossFit. Yeah. I'll do morning. So morning I'll work out, and then work.
Come on, man! You're going to be like a normal CrossFitter and talk about it all the time on Instagram and talk about I do CrossFit.
That's why I didn't get into it for the longest time, because I was like, I was like, man, I don't want to be that guy that is posting my PRs on clean and jerk and that kind of stuff. And hey, I can do bar muscle ups, but then I started doing it, and in the gym I go to a gym on the east side of town called Back to Back at Rio Bravo. It used to be owned by the Folsoms, and it was Rio Bravo Valley CrossFit.
Okay, yeah,
just kind of a
John Folsom.
The Folsom. There's a bunch of them. It's oh my gosh, Art Folsom.
Art Folsom. That's older gentleman.
Yep.
I mean, my age, maybe.
Older than you. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he 60 now?
Yeah.
Or is he that old?
He's in his. I think he's probably mid 60s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Of course, is incredibly fit.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
Yeah.
Art's a good guy. I joined when he owned the gym, and they sold it to Ryan Ibarra, who used to own Back to Back off of Select. So the massive gym.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. I mean, they have a little hot yoga room in there, and that's where I practice
so you
hot
do
yoga.
both.
Yeah, and then have the CrossFit thing, and I'm okay. I'm decent at it. I've done a few of the competitions, so gone to LA and done one in Bakersfield, actually a couple in Bakersfield.
Uh-huh.
But I started doing them when I was in my late 20s to 30s, and it's just there's some studs.
Oh, it's
and if you're long like
incredible.
We are, if you've got a long wingspan, or we can do certain things well, like maybe wall balls or even some of the bar stuff. But any of that Olympic lifting, getting super heavy, it's just.
I never did. When I was doing, I think I did it for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I just told myself from the beginning, don't get heavy in there.
Yeah.
Check just check it.
Huge.
Don't go in there and get hurt. You're doing this to be fit, not to go try to lift some monstrous amount of weight.
And that's hard to do. When you go in there.
Totally. When the girl in front of you is kicking your ass.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, going in there, it is a humbling experience. Everybody says that, but it's true. You get in, and I'm in decent shape, and then you do a couple, and you can't walk the next day.
Right.
It's I did this, and then the owner was quite proud of himself, but I did an interview with Billy Simpkins at Bakersfield Tough, and the way he shoots, when I first was doing the Farm Bureau thing, and he comes in our office, and they stage it, so I'm coming in from my back office, and you see me walking, and I'm walking like I have a stick up my butt. And it's because we had done squats, like such heavy squats a couple of days before. And I just started doing CrossFit. The coach just texted me like, I see you. I see what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I see the pain that you're in, and I caused it. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, you did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different animal for sure.
There's two things that always just keep itching me. CrossFit's one, and triathlon, long course triathlon keeps getting at me.
What do you mean getting at you?
Like I want to do more.
Yeah.
The first time I did CrossFit, I did it at the same time I was doing training for long course triathlon. And as my endurance training kept getting longer, I just couldn't do CrossFit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just too wiped.
Yeah.
If that's all you did, I would have had the recovery time, but I
Mhm.
just didn't. So I
Sure.
dropped CrossFit so I can continue training for triathlon.
Yeah.
But both of them still get
Yeah.
at me, you know?
Makes them. I mean, I think that's when you get to a certain point. I think that if you do, and I really think 4 days of CrossFit is plenty a week. 3 days is even
Right.
3 days. You're not really, you don't get in the type of shape where after you do a workout, you feel good. After, if you do 4 days and then you mix it up with like,
Something else.
do something else, swim, do the hot yoga thing, which I'm trying to do practice or, run, whatever else, ride your bike. I think you can get in great shape doing that.
For sure, for I would say Olympic distance triathlons and maybe even half Ironman distance.
Yeah.
I
but
just
not
don't.
for the
And I'm
distance.
sure there's plenty of people out there that can do, they're just genetically gifted and they can do both.
Yeah.
But to do long, like in full Ironman, where you're
Yeah.
every day is like an hour and a half run. Well, not every day, but something, you're going long every day.
Yeah.
And it's just too hard to.
Have you done one? Have you done an Ironman?
Two.
You've done two. Okay.
And the itch is coming back to do another.
Wow.
I haven't formally decided in my head that I'm going
Yeah.
to do it, but I really want to.
Good for you.
But I want to do it. If I do it, I'm going to do it differently than I've done the other two.
Yeah.
I tend to act like I'm a pro when I'm doing something and I'm not. It just is what Oh,
Yeah.
I've got to train. Got to train like the pros.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I do, but if I do another one, I'm not going to take on that approach.
Sure.
I'm going to take on a more civilized approach.
Oh, I think that just goes, it shows you when you take on something, you want to do it 100%, right? You just go
Right.
for it.
And same with CrossFit. If I'm going to do CrossFit, I am going to do it 4 or
Yeah.
5 times a week,
Yep.
and because I loved it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I do have to say, and I've said it, I'm repeating myself on the podcast, that was some of the best muscle shape I've ever been in.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hardest I've been
Mm-hmm.
and strongest.
Oh, for
Maybe
sure.
not like 1 rep bench max strong,
Yeah.
but just strong in general.
Yep.
That was the strongest I've been.
Me too.
know?
No, I mean, I played football in high school and played rugby for a little bit in college. Of course, did all the intramural stuff, but got strong. But doing the Olympic lifts and just almost more like there's just different stabilizing muscles that you'll use
Everywhere.
and you get
Yeah.
full. I mean, they call it functional fitness, and it's true. You get strong. And you just feel better in most things that you do. When I started doing it, I was still turning wrenches a lot more when we were harvesting potatoes. So I was running our potato harvest and moving chains, moving the big digger chains or having moving sprinkler pipe if you're in a bind, running out and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, I can feel this. I can
Right.
I can actually feel the change. Whereas before just, running up and doing a quick jog around the neighborhood or maybe bench press and
Yeah.
our typical stuff, just didn't exhibit that strength. Whereas, CrossFit, wow, okay, it is functional.
Oh, totally
Yeah.
is. I just couldn't. There's so much lower body work
Yeah.
in CrossFit.
Yeah.
Whether you're actually in there working legs in general, like doing a lot of squats or whatever, or a lot of the Olympic lifts, you're deadlifting,
Yeah. Well,
Or-
I mean, for me, it's like even
box jumps or whatever you're doing, you're like, I'm like, my legs are wrecked again.
Yep.
How am I going to go run 2 hours today?
Yeah.
Or how am I going to go bike 2.5 hours
Yeah.
and put in the tempos that my coach expects me to put in?
Sure.
I couldn't mix them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something as intense as an Ironman and something as intense as CrossFit, you're right. I mean, you just can't. Your body's gonna, if you're working and you've got a family,
Add that in, right?
that's the hard part.
Well, that
It's
was the other tempting thing about CrossFit. A lot of times I could find 5 o'clock classes.
Yeah.
And your ass is kicked in 50 minutes.
Yep.
You're wrecked,
Oh yeah.
and just drive straight to the office from there.
Yeah.
I'm at work on time, got my workout in.
Yeah.
It's all good. Got a good workout.
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's,
So you think you'll do another CrossFit competition ever?
yeah, I think I will. I think that once I finish my Farm Bureau, I check that off and can concentrate on farming and real estate. and then obviously
Come back to earth a little bit.
come back to earth. I
Mhm.
mean, you know how
Right.
it is. It's just you've got 8 balls that you're juggling at all times, and it's just how do you exert your energy? I would love to go and just go full bore right now, but I know if I go full bore exercising or getting ready for a competition, I'm like you. It's like I've got to, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be prepared and I'm going to be in great shape. But that also means that I'm going to be burnt out, 6
Right.
days of the week.
Yes.
And that's just hard. Your mental capacity is what it is, and especially with your body, you start kind of pushing it and hurt
Mhm.
yourself. So, yeah, I think I will eventually. It's just I
Nice.
give myself probably about a year.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Definitely looking forward to that.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Hey, man, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks
This
for
is,
having me. This is great. This is a cool thing for our little area, and we've got a lot of different athletic people and different interests. So it's
So many
it's
people
cool.
ask, man, how do you do it? What do you do to stay fit? And then, a lot of times it's followed up. How do you do it staying busy? So
Yeah.
I think this just gives a lot of people that are listening. Here's another example of somebody getting it done.
Yeah,
A different way than somebody else is doing it, but there's always a way.
sure.
Always a way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, John.
It was fun.